Welcome everybody to our Ayurveda talk. I am Marie and I am Ayurvedic health practitioner. And we're going to spend some time tonight talking about the formation of tissues in the body. The reason why I wanted to do this particular topic tonight is because Halloween lands on this week. It's this week. And for a lot of people, that becomes the beginning of really poor eating. And I wanted to give you the Ayurveda breakdown of how tissues are formed and what it actually means when we start eating poorly and how that starts to impact our overall system in our body. Remember, there is a prioritization of tissues in the body. When you eat food, there are certain tissues that are going to receive nutrients first before other tissues. So we're going to go through that. I'm going to just kind of give you the breakdown really quick of you eat food, and then the first tissues to receive nutrients is the plasma. So it goes to the plasma, and then it goes from the plasma to the blood. Then nutrients start to feed the muscle tissue. Then it goes to our fat tissue, then the bone, then the nerves, then the reproductive tissues. And then after the reproductive tissues is when we start to build our vital reserves. So if you are eating really well and feeding your body properly according to your particular constitution and dosha, then that means that you'll also be building up stores. It's kind of like having a savings account. You have a savings account, right? So that you can retire and have money to live off. It's the same idea for our tissues. You want to have a savings account of energy. It's called your ojas. So ojas is literally what they call our life sap or essence. And if that gets depleted, then it's like having an empty tank. So let's just talk a little bit about how these tissues are formed. It takes a while. The nutrients, when you eat something, you eat a meal, before every single one of the tissues that gets fed, it takes about 30 days from plasma to be fed all the way down the line to the reproductive system. That's 30 days. And then after that, anything left over can be stored in our ojas, our vital reserves, our life sap. 30 days is a long time, you guys. If it takes this long for tissue to form, then we really need to be so much more aware of what we are eating, because this is why when you go through an Ayurvedic cleanse or you go through Panchakarma, which is part of the Ayurveda cleanse, is part of the Panchakarma process. But that whole process is setting us up to turn the disease pathway around and to help our tissues be vital and energized and receive the nutrients. And if we are just really good this is what I see a lot with people. You're really good for a short amount of time, and then you kind of fall back into bad habits. And it usually starts with the holidays, like Halloween. So you start with the holidays, and then you just give yourself the excuse of it's the holidays. But what I will tell you is try to practice that 80-20 rule. 80% of the time, eat right, eat well, because it takes 30 days for all of those tissues. Like if you have nervous system issues, which a lot of people do, if you have nervous system issues, that nervous system is just before the reproductive. So your nervous system is potentially not even getting any nutrients until day 20-25 after you've eaten a meal. So just let that sink in, because the formation of tissues is a big deal. It's really a big reason of why we should eat well according to our dosha, of course. Now, I just want to talk a little bit about what happens when these tissues? How do you know if these tissues are healthy? Well, if your plasma is not healthy, you're going to have restlessness, you're going to have cardiac pain, or maybe even palpation. You're going to have exhaustion without cause. There's a lot of people that have this. Irritation by loud noises. So you get irritated. So that's if your plasma is depleted. That's the very first tissue. The second tissue, your blood, you'll know it's depleted if you are experiencing dryness, roughness, skin cracks, and loss of luster, right? So your skin starts to just lose its rosiness, its vibrancy. You'll know if your muscle tissue is depleted, if you have you lose your muscles. So they atrophy, they become, you're not able to build muscle in certain areas. And it's particularly noticeable in the neck and the buttocks and the abdomen. They just get saggy, and no matter what you do, you can't seem to build muscle there. So that's a sign that your muscle tissue is not being fed properly. Your fat tissue, it's fed. If it's not receiving proper nutrients, you'll start experiencing cracking in the joints. You're going to have issues with your eyes, overly thin, and exhaustion. So you don't have enough fat on your actual structure. So you get thin. Bones, if they are depleted, you'll have hair falling out, issues with your nails. They're not growing. You start having ridges. They're rough. They break easily. Start having issues with your teeth and also overly loose joints. That's a sign that your bone tissue is not receiving enough nutrients. The nervous system is next. And the nervous system, there's signs that you're not receiving the nutrients that you need, is that you have thinness, weakness, bone lightness, and then bone disease will show up. So osteoporosis, even though it seems like it's a bone thing, it's actually, yes, it's bone, but it's really about the nervous system. It's a vata disorder. So reproductive tissue, if it's not receiving enough nutrients, you'll experience weakness, dry mouth, pallor, exertion. You'll have impotence issues, non-ejaculation of the semen. So you're just going to have issues. There's not enough fluids, all right? So those are signs. That's how you can kind of measure, am I depleted in any of these tissues? And if you're just experiencing, pretty good health and everything feels good, you've got good muscular tone, then that's great. You want to keep eating healthy. It really makes a difference. So that is just basically formation of tissues. I wanted to give you that 30 days of formation of tissues because we are just now starting in Halloween. So don't get into that bad habit of eating poorly and then it just kind of snowballs into, oh, now it's Thanksgiving, now it's Christmas and parties and all this stuff. No, you need to eat right for you, for your tissues. It's a big deal. Okay, so that is our talk for tonight. Let's get started with our practice.